My 6-year-old granddaughter loved to play games on my cell phone. One day, my phone was missing. My granddaughter would not give me my phone back, and Janine would not tell her to give me my phone.
Liz told my 6-year-old that she was going to call the police and have her arrested.
I went to the neighbor's house and asked them to call the police.
Okay, so we're back with Dr. Phil, and today on the Dr. Phil show, there's some old woman who called the feds on her 6-year-old granddaughter because she wouldn't give her phone back. And by the way, if I sound ill, it's because I am. Reason being, it's currently winter, and I happen to live in England, which is the coldest place ever. So when you mix those two factors together, you get yourself the flu. But anyway, today on the Dr. Phil show, there's an old woman who called the feds on her 6-year-old granddaughter because she wouldn't give her phone back.
My 6-year-old granddaughter loved to play games on my cell phone. One day, my phone was missing. My granddaughter would not give me my phone back, and Janine would not tell her to give me my phone.
Liz told my 6-year-old that she was going to call the police and have her arrested.
I went to the neighbor's house and asked them to call the police.
Do you hate your grandchild that much to call the police on her for a reason as stupid as she won't give my phone back? And bear in mind, she's 6 years old. What do you expect a 6-year-old to do with your phone? Like, hack into it and gain all your bank details? And by the way, couldn't you have just taken the phone off her? I mean, I don't think it's that hard to take a phone off a 6-year-old, man. You didn't really have to call the FBI for this.
You called the police on a 6-year-old because he wouldn't give you your phone back?
I didn't call the police on a 6-year-old because she wouldn't give me my phone back.
Yes, you did.
Wouldn't give you your phone back?
I didn't call the police on a 6-year-old because she wouldn't give me my phone back. I called the police because my daughter refused to have her daughter return my phone.
That's basically the same thing as calling the police on your granddaughter. So what you're saying is you called the police on your daughter because she wouldn't listen to your instructions. So pretty much this old woman called the police on her daughter because she's crap at parenting.
She knew exactly where it was.
I didn't know where it was. I had asked her several times, give Alma her phone so that she'll leave the room and you can just stay in here with me. And you scared her, you terrified her.
In fact, to this day, every time she sees a police officer, she cowers a little bit. She thinks that they're there for her.
What I don't get about this is, why hasn't this woman been fined or put in jail? Because I've seen so many people call the police for some stupid reason and they usually get put in prison or fined or something. For example, this waste man over here decides to call the police and order pizza, and like an hour later, his house gets sorted, and then his parents had to pay a fine. So I would expect the same thing to happen to this woman because she's basically wasting valuable police time that can be used to save someone's life. However, instead of facing any consequences, she's put on a famous TV show. Which is honestly fine because it gives me more content ideas. But still, what if someone commits like a serious crime like murder or something, and instead of going jail, they go on Dr. Phil?
Had looked on my phone. She had read through all my text messages. I felt very violated.
She's 6 years old, fresh out of nursery. I'm pretty sure she can barely read. And the way she's going on about it, like, I feel very violated, guys. Like, what are you going to do? Get a lawyer involved, sue your 6-year-old granddaughter and take this whole situation to the Supreme Court.
My text messages. I felt very violated.
After you gave the phone to the kids
And you
unlocked.
thought that was a police matter?
I told them it's not an emergency.
Well, this person needs to be taught how to use emergency services. Even when you call the police, the operator says something along the lines of 911, what's your emergency? Meaning that your situation has to be an emergency.
I told them it's not an emergency.
But you called 911, which is an emergency number.
I really don't want to argue with you about it. It's just,
Well, I wouldn't either if I were you.
I don't want to argue about it.
I mean, come on.
Well, since you're on Dr. Phil, you're gonna have to argue about it.
I mean, I'm just talking about common sense here. If you guys are living in a place that is really a bad mess.
Well, let me ask you this, Dr. Phil. If she thought it was so deplorable, why'd she even move in? And then why did she complain when we asked her to leave?
So the house isn't even in good conditions, and this woman decides to call the police just to like add extra weight on their shoulders. They better kick her out once they get back from this interview, man. I think if they do kick her out, she's probably gonna call the police on them for kicking her out.
Let me ask you this question. Why is the house in such bad array to begin with?
It's not. It was in a mess because I was
time.
not feeling good at the time. But under normal circumstances, it's not.
Now, come on, don't try to defend the
No, I'm not trying to.
indefensible.
I'm just trying to defend.
I'm just
anything.
trying to be reasonable. There's two sides to
Absolutely.
this, and if the place
There is two sides to this, however. One of the sides is I called the police on my 6-year-old granddaughter. Me personally, I wouldn't take that side.
It wasn't the best situation. You know, again, I was working. I was coming home after work, helping out as much as I could. We had a 13-year-old who, after school, she was helping. And again, we had another person in the house who was supposed to be helping, but wasn't pulling their weight. Because of that, you know, again, obviously, Liz likes to always be the victim in a lot of situations. What will happen is she'll make up a situation such as, you know, again, she didn't call the police, yet she just admitted she called the police. You know, she went next door. I didn't give them the local number. You know, it wasn't an emergency, and yet they responded in an emergent fashion. She always comes up with these stories and somehow is the victim of these situations that she creates herself.
Just kick this person out the house, man. She called the CIA or FBI on a 6-year-old. She constantly adds drama to a house that isn't even financially stable, and she constantly plays the victim card. I mean, is that not enough reasons to kick someone out the house? Okay, so I'm gonna have to wrap up the video here because I'm too ill to continue. Question of the day: if your grandma or any other family member called the police on you for some stupid reason like the one we just discussed, what would you do? Type down your answer in the comments. And yeah, please like, subscribe, share, and safe.
Looking